Hey, survival enthusiasts! Today, we're delving into the challenging world of survival games on Steam. From building shelters to scavenging for resources, these games test your survival skills in harsh and unforgiving environments. Join us as we explore the top survival games that will push you to the limit. Let's dive in! XERA Survival is an open-world survival game developed and published by Spotted Kiwi Interactive. The game puts players in a post-apocalyptic world where they must fight for survival against natural elements, AI-controlled enemies, and other players in an online multiplayer environment. Players must gather resources, build shelters, craft weapons, and face challenges to survive in this hostile environment. The game is known for its intense combat, challenging survival mechanics, and expansive game world. Dead Frontier 2 Inch is a free-to-play online survival horror game developed and published by CREATIVERSE Limited. It is the sequel to the original Dead Frontier game and features similar gameplay mechanics but with updated graphics and new content. In Dead Frontier 2, players must survive in a zombie-infested open world, scavenging for supplies, completing missions, and fighting off hordes of undead creatures. The game offers both solo and multiplayer modes, allowing players to team up with others to increase their chances of survival. Dead Frontier 2 is praised for its tense atmosphere, challenging gameplay, and cooperative multiplayer experience. Will to Live Online is a multiplayer online role-playing game, MMORPG, developed and published by AlphaSoft LLC. The game is set in a post-apocalyptic world where players must survive against mutants, bandits, and other hostile forces. Players can explore the game's open world, complete quests, scavenge for resources, and engage in combat with enemies. Will to Live Online features a variety of weapons, armor, and equipment that players can use to customize their characters and improve their chances of survival. The game also includes a crafting system that allows players to create items and equipment using materials found in the game world. Overall, Will to Live Online is praised for its immersive world, challenging gameplay, and cooperative multiplayer experience. Stay Out is a free-to-play multiplayer online survival game developed by Mobile Technologies LLC. Set in a post-apocalyptic world, the game features a vast and dangerous open world filled with anomalies, mutants, and other players. Players must scavenge for resources, craft items, and build shelters to survive. Stay Out emphasizes exploration and survival, with players facing various challenges and dangers as they navigate the world. The game also features a player-driven economy, allowing players to trade goods and resources with each other. Stay Out has been praised for its immersive atmosphere, challenging gameplay, and player interaction. Medieval Dynasty includes role-playing and life simulation elements that are not standard in typical survival games. It is noted for its realistic depiction of life in the Middle Ages, where players must develop an entire settlement from scratch and keep it safe from external threats like bandits and invaders. Players can choose between following the main quest line with set objectives or freely exploring its open world to discover unique adventures. But the ultimate goal remains to establish a dynasty that will rival all others in its medieval kingdom. As you can see, history buffs will likely consider Medieval Dynasty one of the best survival games on Steam. CREATIVERSE is a free-to-play sandbox survival game developed and published by Playful Corporation. In CREATIVERSE, players explore a blocky, procedurally generated world filled with various biomes, creatures, and resources. The game focuses on creativity and exploration, allowing players to gather materials, craft tools and items, and build structures. CREATIVERSE features a day-night cycle and weather system, as well as a variety of creatures, some of which are hostile and must be fought off. The game also includes a creative mode where players have unlimited resources to build whatever they want. CREATIVERSE has been praised for its charming visuals, engaging gameplay, and robust building mechanics. DECEIT is a multiplayer first-person shooter game with survival horror elements, developed and published by Baseline. In DECEIT, players are randomly assigned the role of innocent or infected. The goal of the innocent players is to escape from a map by completing objectives, while the infected players must deceive and eliminate the innocents without revealing their true nature. Players must work together to survive and escape, but they must also be wary of their fellow players, as anyone could be an infected. DECEIT is praised for its tense gameplay, psychological elements, and strategic depth, making it a unique and engaging multiplayer experience. In Brendy's State of Decay 2 review, He reckons it's an ever-expanding to-do list, which is absolutely what it is. But hey, if you're fine with that, then the game can be a strong survival up with your mates as you fend off flesh chompers left, right, and center. Hayden reckons its use of permadeath makes it not only the story of survival but community too, with monotonous tasks often leading to encounters which can lead to the most memorable of encounters. The Last of Us Part 1 is a critically acclaimed action-adventure game developed by Naughty Dog and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. Released in 2013 for the PlayStation 3 and later remastered for the PlayStation 4, the game is set in a post-apocalyptic world overrun by a fungal infection that turns humans into hostile creatures. Players assume the role of Joel, a smuggler tasked with escorting a young girl named Ellie across the United States. The game is praised for its compelling narrative, well-developed characters, and emotional storytelling. It received numerous awards for its storytelling, voice acting, and gameplay mechanics, cementing its status as one of the greatest video games of all time. PATHOLOGIC 2 is a survival thriller game developed by Ice Pick Lodge. It is a reimagining of the original PATHOLOGIC game, featuring updated graphics, improved gameplay mechanics, and a reworked narrative. The game is set in a remote town suffering from a deadly outbreak, and players must navigate the town's intricacies while trying to uncover the truth behind the epidemic. Landing on the unforgiving planet Icarus, you and up to 7 online pals must complete missions before returning to the comfort of the orbital space station to upgrade your gear. In this session-based survival game, battling against hostile weather conditions, vicious animals, and unruly terrain, you must successfully collect the specified resources and retreat to the dropship before the time runs out. Since leaving early access, Icarus has had its fair share of bugs, but its refreshing take on sandbox survival and robust progression system make this a very and surprising survival game. Stranded Deep is for you if you're looking for a Castaway-esque experience. This first-person open-world survival sim finds your character stranded on an uncharted island after a plane crash over the Pacific Ocean. To survive, you must learn to craft weapons, build shelter, and hunt the surrounding wildlife. Plus, no 2 playthroughs will ever feel the same with randomly generated islands. While Stranded Deep doesn't include the competitive edge of games like Rust or Ark, it does include online or local split-screen co-op. So, it's one of the best survival games on Steam to play with a friend. MISCREATED is a multiplayer online survival game developed and published by Entrada Interactive. Set in a post-apocalyptic world, the game challenges players to survive in a harsh environment ravaged by mutated creatures, harsh weather, and hostile players. Players must scavenge for resources, craft tools and weapons, and build shelters to protect themselves from the dangers of the world. A lot of survival games threw zombies or other paranormal creatures your way. In Green Hell, the enemy is the jungle around you. Real-world problems can affect you in Green Hell, ranging from disease to your own mental health, sanity. Rather than feeling like a video game jungle, Green Hell feels like real life. This includes the addition of body inspection, which allows you to essentially diagnose where your pain is coming from. This differs from many other games where you consume some sort of healing item and instantly, or gradually, get better. Kenshi is lots of different things to lots of different people, but this strategic building survival RPG is all about finding your niche and making it work. Where many survival games run out of purpose as soon as you stabilize your food supply, Kenshi opens more possibilities. Whether it's establishing a sustainable farm where you can recruit people to defend it, or becoming a skilled enough thief to supply your needs, Kenshi is a sumptuous bounty that feeds all kinds of play styles. Its world doesn't fit itself around your needs and wants, but it's not particularly set against you either. After all, the most common bandits are often just bands of starving people fighting for scraps of food. It all gives our humble camp a sense of ambition beyond pure self-interest. This land could provide for people, we think. If we can protect it, maybe we could start to change things. And before we know it, we have a team of recruits running a factory in our absence while we lead our tiny founding trio out into the world, camping out under twin moons, fending off unfamiliar animals, and accidentally offending a powerful faction of religious bigots. Well, we guess we have enemies now, gang. Best head back home and figure out how to survive this, too. The long, dark, vast, snow-blanketed wilderness is a harsh and uncompromising place. Its episodic story mode, Wintermute, serves as a gentle introduction to its harsh, yet beautiful world, But it's the game's survival mode that's the true, open-ended test of your mettle, dropping you into a freezing world and then leaving you to find your own way. You've got to find shelter, and then venture out to find supplies, all while trying to keep your calorie intake up and your body warm. Getting ready to leave the shelter feels like planning a wilderness expedition. In Conan Exiles, the player assumes the role of an outcast condemned to wander the wild and dangerous wasteland. The plot isn't a significant aspect of the game. However, you will be able to learn about the lore hidden in ancient ruins and books. In true survival sandbox fashion, you'll traverse an open, diverse world. Savannas, deserts, and canyons await you. Of course, you start with nothing and must craft your first flimsy tools. But as you progress, you can construct more sophisticated equipment and even buildings. Aggressive animals and bandits will threaten your survival, but you can fend them off thanks to a rich arsenal of weapons. Getting started in Rust can be a bit of a pain in the arse. After waking up naked and clueless, you'll spend hours smashing rocks and chopping down trees like a Stone Age drone, and chances are that you'll end up a snack for wild animals before you've had a chance to put a little base together. Once you're able to protect yourself, though, Rust's appeal becomes more apparent. A gathering expedition is a lot more exciting when there's a chance you're going to get in a shootout with packs of other players. The competition creates predators and prey, which can lead to highly imbalanced fights, but that makes it all the more satisfying when you start fighting back and winning. Released in 2017 after 2 years in Steam Early Access, Ark: Survival Evolved is one of the more popular survival games on the digital storefront. This is primarily due to word of mouth and the gaming public's continued fascination with dinosaurs. Furthermore, we would say Ark is one of the best survival games on Steam for dino lovers. Set in a world where these prehistoric reptiles still roam the land, players must assert their dominance by either taming them or fighting them off once they've acquired the means to do so. They will also need to establish a base that gradually evolves to become more advanced over time. But by doing so, they must also contend with other players who can as quickly throw a wrench in their plans and send them back to the Stone Age. Last but not least, we have DayZ. This is a bit older, and many longtime fans of survival games may remember this game fondly. The situation is simple: survive in a zombie-infested world. Interestingly, DayZ is geared towards multiplayer, and there is no dedicated single-player mode. In this post-apocalyptic world filled with others, you can choose to band together or fend for yourself. With no quests, your only goal is to survive and possibly even thrive. This spot was originally taken by this game's predecessor, The Forest. Like its daddy, Sons of the Forest is a survival game of theft, where C means cannibals. You're part of an elite team sent to rescue a billionaire who's gone missing on a remote island. But when your chopper crash lands and almost your whole squad apart from this one gormless but beloved guy called Kelvin are taken out. So your challenge becomes A: survive on this forested island, build a camp, grow blueberries, walk among the peaceful trees and enjoy the soothing sounds of the river. And then of course there is B: notice some guy in a loincloth hanging onto a tree, staring at you. Oh, there's another one on the path up ahead. Oh, he's coming towards you. Oh no! Oh no! Sons of the Forest is still in early access, but it took Steam by storm when it dropped, and there's a lot to enjoy about it, from its kind of pulpy action style, to the idyllic locale, to the contrast with that when the cannibals turn up and you haven't made any weapons yet. The survival and crafting systems are detailed and robust, and special mention goes to the inventory, which is a survival pack you unroll in front of you to rummage through. Based on Norse mythology, Valheim is a survival game that took Steam by storm in 2021 when it sold more than 5 million copies within its first month of release. Set in a mythical realm where fallen Vikings go to secure their place in the halls of Valhalla, players must prove their worthiness by fighting various supernatural forces that threaten the land. Despite its action focus, Valheim is still a survival game at its core, so expect to also have to forage around for resources, build shelters, craft weapons and items, and team up with or go up against other players. So, if you're a survival sim enthusiast looking for a new, mythical environment, Valheim is one of the best survival games on Steam. So, did you like the games I recommended? So leave your like, subscribe to the channel to follow me and activate the bell because I post a lot of videos on this channel and you can't miss it. Thank you very much for following me this far and until next time, bye.